Wall Street 2007, the economic crisis begins. Its effects are felt on trading floors across the world. Financial institutions collapse, the housing bubble bursts, stock markets plummet. By the year's end, a severe global recession has occurred. This is considered to be the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. Statistics about housing foreclosures, bankrupt businesses, lack of consumer spending only illustrate one part of the story. The emotional impact the crisis has taken on people is at the heart of the story. Suffering can be prolonged for months, even years after the recession has passed, from newspaper headlines. Research has shown that people's reactions to this crisis bear similarities to people's reactions to earthquakes or terrorist attacks. Panic seeps in. Individuals become prone to things like depression and anxiety, violence and substance use. As a result, communities change. Social welfare systems can fail. The United States Office of Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration recently launched a program to examine whether place-based programs responding to our crisis could keep social problems at bay. An RFP was issued for the Community Resiliency and Recovery Initiative, a 4-year, $5.6 million grant. Communities devastated by the bad economy were invited to respond. STAR and the City of Fall River is one of 3 communities across the United States to be awarded the grant. The other communities selected were Union City, New Jersey, and Lorain, Ohio. Its goal is to prevent incidences of alcohol and substance use, and of anxiety and depression, domestic and community violence, and eventually HIV/AIDS from growing, by catching them early on. SAMHSA hopes that the models created through the grant will have other applications in other communities in the future, in the U.S. and beyond. The problems facing residents of Fall River, Massachusetts began long before the current U.S. recession. Our poverty rate has always been among the highest in the state of Massachusetts. Jobs were already scarce in this small industrial city. The mills that earned Fall River the distinction of being one of the largest cotton producers in the world have long since vanished. Manufacturing plants that moved in over subsequent decades have been outsourced. As the economic recession hit in 2008, our unemployment rate began tipping the scales, climbing from 8.3% in 2007 to 15.9% in 2009. The last large job sites shut their doors. Rates of substance use are also high. While Massachusetts has the dubious distinction of having the most heroin traffic and use in the country, the Southeast region has consistently had 3 to 4 times more heroin admissions into drug treatment than anywhere else in the state. The age-adjusted death rate from alcohol and other drug use is more than double the state average. As the economic crisis worsened, of course, these populations became more vulnerable. Just as the difficulty of the times we are facing in Fall River are unprecedented, so is our response unprecedented. We are utilizing a broad-brush, multi-tiered approach to healing our community. Our first step was to get grassroots support for the program. Members of the community, including social workers, hospital staff, and government officials, form our steering committee. We meet regularly and get advice on our program. Together, we develop Project Assist, assisting, serving, supporting in stressful times. The basis for our program is the evidence-based SBIRT, Screening, Brief Intervention, Research, and Treatment Model. Screening. Our first major effort was to find out how many people had been profoundly affected by the economic crisis and how they were affected. We developed screens, simple 10-question, 5-minute surveys, which are given to individuals. The screens help us access whether individuals are vulnerable to mental health issues like depression and anxiety, substance abuse, HIV/AIDS, or domestic violence. Our goal is to screen 10% of the city's 92,000 people by the end of the grant cycle. In order to let people know about Project Assist and to get people in for screenings, we first launched a comprehensive media campaign. We cast our net wide. We created public service announcements that aired on cable, television, public television, and at various public facilities such as hospitals. We wrote articles for the local English-speaking and Portuguese newspapers. Another important component of our campaign was social marketing. We created pages on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and linked all these pages together. We used these pages to interact with individuals and families who may use our services, and professionals in the community who may refer them to us. In conjunction with the local newspaper, we created a blog called Changing Times. On this blog, we post articles, photographs, and videos about our clients. Our staff writes weekly parenting columns. We have solicited copy from local community members, including the clergy. Brochures, flyers, and a quarterly newsletter were also created. Articles were placed in professional journals. Our program is constantly evolving to meet the needs of our community. One of the goals of the grant is to increase the community resiliency. Early on, we learned that helping people adapt both to unemployment and the new job market was crucial. We developed a job club. The weekly drop-in group provides residents with a place to come to exchange stories, update or create resumes, strategize, and support one another. The Job Club is open to all Fall River residents. We have found the Job Club to be a powerful tool to strengthen individuals and the community. Project Assist staff have received intensive training in several evidence-based programs to help them facilitate groups in the community. Seeking Safety is a behavioral therapy that helps people attain safety from trauma or PTSD, more commonly known as post-traumatic stress disorder, and substance abuse by remaining focused on the present. We will focus these groups on survivors of trauma, such as domestic violence or rape, and also veterans. The Incredible Years is a parent and child social skills training program through which have created small weekly parent groups. Parenting Wisely is a computer-based program through which parents can learn new skills. Our first year operating Project Assist has surpassed our goals and wildest expectations. To date, we have generated strong community interest, screened 2,279 people, and enrolled 82 people. We have launched evidence-based parenting programs and programs to help people recover from trauma. Though, of course, we cannot yet fully gather statistics to gauge whether rates of substance use, anxiety, or depression, or community violence have decreased due to the program, the people we serve speak to the heart of our story.